Okay, so let's use Excel to calculate some probabilities with the binomial distribution. So we need to define the values for y. Let's use the example about the alarm and the fire detection. If you remember, there were three cells that could activate the alarm. The problem talk about the probability of being activated as 0.8, and the random variable y was the number of cells activating the alarm. So with this information, you already have this problem. So with this information, we are going to use Excel. We have y, and then let's get here the probability. If you remember, the possible values for y starts in 0 and go up to n. In this case, the three cells are actually the number of trials, so n is equal to 3, and then you have p equals 2.8. So we have from 0, 1, 2, 3. And then let's get the probability of y equal to 0. That would stand for 0 cells that are actually activated, and then y equals 1. It's the possible outcome of just one cell being activated. It doesn't matter which one, it could be the first, the second, or the third one, and so on. So we have, it depends always in the Excel that you have, if this is Mac, if this is Windows, but in my case, this is by dist. They are going to ask you about the number of the variable, the number of successes that you want, and in this case we are going to have 0, and then they are going to ask you about the number of trials. In this case we have 3 cells, and then they are going to ask you about the probability of success, that it's 0.8, and then they are going to ask you if you want cumulative probability or not. So if we have the cumulative probability, remember that it's going to be the probability of that value all the way to the lower limit. So I'm going to give here false, just to have the probability of each possible outcome. So this is actually the probability of this 0.008 is the probability that you have 0 cells that activate the alarm. Then you have probability of 0.096 is the probability of having one cell that actually activates the alarm. The probability that the 3 of them work is 0.512. If we want capital F, you remember capital F is the cumulative function. This is just the same. In the 0 it's the same one, but in the 1, for y equals 1, this is the probability of 1 plus the probability of 0, and then you have the probability of 2 plus the probability of 1 plus the probability of 0. So you are accumulating the probability. And for the third case, what is the value that you are going to get? Of course, you should get 1, because this is just the upper limit. You should have the whole probability described here. So this is the distribution function, this one here. That was the question for letter A. This is just to verify that this is that you know and you remember the cumulative function. And for letter B, they ask you about the probability that the alarm actually function. And if you remember, with one or more cells that are activated, then the alarm functions. So you are going to have these 3 are going to be the cases where you have the alarm working, no? With y equals 1, y equals 2, y equals 3. So you actually can answer letter B with probability of y equals 1 plus the probability of y equals 2 plus the probability of y equals 3. This is plus. And in this case, this is the sum of these 3, and this is 0.992. So as you see, the function is actually quite clear in Excel. You have to give the number of successes that you are looking for. That's the value of y, the first one. Then they are going to ask you about the n, then the p, and then if you want it cumulative or not. No? And well, actually that's it.